Hi, everyone. Today, I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. The office was busy as I held the letter from the hospital. My son, Oliver, was about to have heart surgery, and I needed time off. This was my chance to talk to Hudson Grayson, my boss, and remind him that I wasn't just an employee, I was a mother who needed to be there for her child. Hudson's office was ahead, and I really didn't want to go in. Be careful, Jenna, the receptionist warned me as I passed. He's not in a good mood. I nodded and kept walking. I had no choice. My son's life was at stake. When I entered Hudson's office, he didn't look up. He was typing away, his jaw tight. "What is it?" he asked without looking at me. "I need some time off next week," I said, trying to sound calm even though I felt tight inside. He stopped typing and looked at me with a cold stare. "Time off? Why?" he asked. "My son is having surgery next Tuesday. It's very serious," I replied, keeping my voice steady despite the nervousness in my stomach. "Serious for you, maybe," he said coldly, "not for this company." I was taken aback by his bluntness. "Hudson, this isn't just a normal surgery, it's life or death." "Whose life and death are we talking about?" he asked, standing up and walking around his desk. "Look, Samantha." "Samantha," I corrected him, my voice shaky but firm. "Samantha, I get it, you have a kid, and kids get sick, but this is a business, not a charity, you have responsibilities here." I felt tight in my chest. "I've worked here for 7 years, Hudson, I've never asked for time off before, I've always worked hard, stayed late, and helped out. Can't you make an exception just this once?" He laughed sharply. "You think you're irreplaceable? News flash, no one is. You want time off? Fine, but don't expect to have a job when you come back." His words hurt, and I felt my heart race. I had always done my best at work, but this felt cruel. "Hudson," I said, my voice shaking but firm, "I can't choose between my job and my son's life." "Then don't," he said coldly, "you know where the door is." I left his office in a daze, Jenna's voice calling after me. "You don't deserve this." That night, I packed up my things. I felt a mix of fear and freedom. Hudson had made his priorities clear, and now I had to make mine. Walking out of that office, I knew I had to face whatever came next, because my son's life was what mattered most. The next morning, sunlight filled the hospital room where Oliver lay. I sat by his bed, feeling relief wash over me as I saw him breathing normally. The surgery had been a success. The doctor said he would be okay. Tears filled my eyes as I touched Oliver's hair. 4 weeks. I'd been so worried, but now he was out of danger. 2 weeks later, the house was quiet except for the sound of the oxygen machine in Oliver's room. I sipped my coffee, looking for jobs online, though I couldn't focus. Quitting my job had been a big leap, and I wasn't sure where I would land. The doorbell rang. I opened the door to find Jenna holding an envelope. "Samantha," she said quietly, looking around as if someone might see her, "this was left at the office for you. It's from Hudson." I took the envelope, my stomach tight. "Thanks, Jenna. Are you okay?" She looked worried. "Things aren't going well there. Hudson's trying to fix things, but clients are mad about missed deadlines," she said, glancing at the envelope. "Be careful." Her words made me uneasy. After she left, I opened the envelope. It was a letter from the company's legal team, saying I'd broken my contract by quitting without notice. They said I had to come back to work or face legal action. I felt angry as I read it. He was trying to force me back. I called my friend Carla, who was a lawyer. "This is just revenge," Carla said when I told her what happened. "He's bluffing. If he tries to take it to court, it'll backfire." "I just wanted to be there for my son," I said, feeling shaken. "You did the right thing," Carla reassured me. "Hudson is trying to make you feel bad for standing up for yourself. Don't give him that power." Just then, Hudson called me. I debated whether to answer, but Carla urged me to pick up. I answered. "Samantha," Hudson's voice was tight, "we need to talk about what you've done." "What?" I asked coldly. "The mess you left behind," he snapped. "Clients are leaving, deadlines are missed. I don't have time for this. Come back, and we can forget all this." I laughed bitterly. "Forget it. You humiliated me, Hudson. You made it clear I'm replaceable, so replace me." "This isn't a negotiation," he barked. "You broke your contract." "Then sue me," I said, "but don't expect me to clean up your mess." There was silence before he muttered, "You'll regret this," and hung up. I sat there, shaking not with fear but with determination. Hudson had no idea who he was dealing with. As I looked at my computer, an email from a former client, Mrs. Delaney, caught my eye. She was frustrated about the poor work since I left. It was bad news for Hudson, but an opportunity for me. I called Carla again. "It's worse than I thought," I said. I said as soon as she answered. "Clients are stuck in Hudson's mess, and now he's blaming me for it all, but I have an idea to turn this around." "I'm listening," Carla replied, her tone sharp. "I'll reach out to some of our key clients, those I worked closely with. I'll tell them the truth and offer my help on my own. If Hudson wants to play dirty, I'll hit him where it hurts, his reputation." "That's a bold move," Carla added after a moment, "but be careful, don't give him any reason to legally come after you." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. "I'll be careful, but I can't let him bully me into submission." Later that evening, after putting Oliver to bed, I sat at the dining table with my laptop. I began my first email to Mrs. Delan with the subject line, "A personal update." "Dear Mrs. Delan, I'm very sorry to hear about the problems you've
Alright,
had
go
since I
ahead and
left.
knock that
I
out.
wasn't involved in the
Or
company's
take
work
a few
after I
shots.
left, but I regret that you have been affected. If you ever need help, please know I'm available to support you independently. I value the relationship we built,
No
and I want
pressure
to
at
ensure
all.
you
I'm
receive
just
the service you deserve. Warm regards, Samantha." Although the words felt risky, they also made me feel strong. I didn't hesitate to press send. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a call. "Simona, it's Delaney," said a familiar voice. "I got your email. Are you serious about helping us?" she asked. "Absolutely," I answered calmly. "I just can't handle this mess anymore. If you're free, let's discuss how we can move forward without them." I smiled, feeling relief. "Thank you for trusting me, Mrs. Delaney. Let's schedule a time to talk," she said. After ending that call, my phone buzzed again, this time with Hudson's name on the screen. I ignored it, knowing he was desperate to regain control after hearing about the fallout. Later that day, Carla called me. "Hudson's losing it," she said, barely holding back laughter. "I heard that 2 more clients are pulling out." "Good," I replied firmly. "He's finally learning what happens when you push someone too far." For the first time in weeks, I felt like I was in control. His company was falling apart, and now I held all the cards. At dawn the next day, I received an email with the subject line, "Urgent, legal action against you." My heart skipped a beat as I opened it. The formal, cold language of Hudson's lawyer filled the screen. They were threatening to sue me for breach of contract, claiming I had illegally contacted clients and caused the company financial harm. I exhaled slowly, clutching my coffee mug tighter. So this was Hudson's next move. He wasn't just trying to fix the chaos, he was trying to scare me back into line before things got even worse. I called Carla. "He's suing me," I said without any greeting. "Are you surprised?" she replied. "He's trapped now, and you're the only one he can target. Remember, you have leverage." "Leverage," I repeated. The word sparked something inside me. Carla was right, I wasn't powerless. Hudson created a hostile work environment that drove me away, and the loss of clients showed that his poor management was the real problem, not my departure. That afternoon, I met with my attorney, Mr. Whitaker, and told him everything, the abuse, the impossible demands, and the clients who reached out. "He can't win this, Mr. Whitaker said confidently. "You have a strong case for a countersuit for wrongful termination disguised as constructive dismissal. If he takes this to court, all his mistakes will be exposed." That evening, I sent a few more carefully written emails to former clients who were thinking of leaving the company. I didn't have to say much. Hudson's failures spoke for themselves. 2 days later, a headline caught my eye: "Major clients withdraw amid scandal at top firm." I read how 3 of Hudson's biggest accounts had left because of his poor management. The next morning, Hudson's name flashed on my phone again. This time, I answered. "Hudson," I said evenly as I leaned back in my chair, "you're ruining me." He shouted, his voice shaking with anger and desperation. "Do you think this is a game? I'll bury you in court if that's what it takes." I paused, letting his words hang in the air. Then I calmly replied, "Hudson, you dug your own grave the moment you stopped treating people right. This isn't about me, it's about your choices." After a moment of silence, his tone softened, almost pleading. "Simona, I need you back. I'll double your salary, give you full control, whatever you need. Just fix this mess." I smiled, savoring the taste of victory. "No, Hudson, I'm done cleaning up after you. Good luck," I said before hanging up. I felt a mix of triumph and relief. Hudson's downfall wasn't just about the company, it was about me reclaiming my power, and I wasn't going to let it go again. Standing by the window and watching leaves fall onto the lawn, I felt free. It had been 6 months since I last heard from Hudson. The lawsuit never happened, thanks to Mr. Whitaker's strong counterarguments, and the company was in ruins. Rumors spread that Hudson had resigned under pressure from the board. I had moved on, or so I thought. Then an unmarked envelope appeared in my mailbox. Inside was a handwritten note in a familiar style that sent chills down my spine. "You think you've won, Samantha, but I'm not finished. Let's see how far you'll go to protect what matters most." My stomach dropped. Even though Hudson lost the company, this note reminded me he wasn't ready to accept defeat. I glanced toward the living room where my kids played happily, unaware of the looming threat. Later that evening, Carla called. "You've been quiet today," she said. I told her about the note, my voice trembling. "What if he does something drastic?" "Listen," Carla said firmly, "you've already proven you're stronger than him. This is just his last attempt to scare you. Don't let him succeed." Her words were comforting, even though I still felt uneasy. A week later, I received an email from Hudson's former assistant with the subject line, "We need to meet." Curious, I agreed to meet her at a cafe downtown. Even though Hudson had left the company, he had transferred all the remaining assets to a shell corporation. At the cafe, she slid a USB drive across the table. "I couldn't watch him hurt more people, so I took this. It has everything, his illegal deals, his offshore accounts. I thought you'd know what to do with it." "Why me?" I asked softly. "Because you're the only one who stood up to him." I left the cafe with the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. The next morning, I sent its contents to the authorities, feeling both scared and free. Weeks later, the headline screamed of Hudson's arrest, former CEO exposed in financial scandal. As I read the articles, my heart filled not with anger, but with peace. I looked at my laptop where my new online business was thriving. I was no longer defined by Hudson or his company. My life was my own, and for the first time in years, it felt like a fresh start. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you won't miss any new videos. See you tomorrow.